Today we are going to talk about media under the metaphor of gate. In the past, we have talked about legacy media and their role as gatekeepers. The arrival of the internet and social media, however, have brought about a new role, that of gatewatcher. In this video, we will discuss this as well as the new media gatekeepers. A gate in any establishment has two basic functions: to control entry and to control exit. No one gets in and out of an establishment without the knowledge of the gatekeepers. Outside the gate, however, there is nothing to prevent onlookers. Hence, those who want to observe who or what goes in and out of the gate may be called gate watchers. Gatekeepers are those who select or filter information before it is shared to other people. The concept of gatekeepers comes from the theory of gatekeeping, that is, a theory based on social psychology wherein gatekeepers are the decision makers who choose the information to be shared with the group. The internet and social media, however, have created a new role, that of gatewatchers. These are the social media users, producers, who curate the information available through traditional media and pass these filtered information to their own audiences. Who are media gatekeepers? These are people within the organization who not only hand out the assignments, they are also the ones with the power to decide which messages are produced, who produces the messages, where the messages will appear, and what messages will contain. Examples of gatekeepers would be the managing editors of newspapers or news broadcasts, a television station's producer or assignment editor, an advertising agency account executive, or a public relations firm client service manager. It could also be the corporation's chief communication officer, who decides whether the new communication plan is ready to be presented to the company's officers. An important function of gatekeepers is to maintain the standards and the voice that define the specific organization for which they are keeping the gates. On the other hand, who are the media gate watchers? Rather than traditional journalistic gatekeeping, which filters news events before publication according to journalistic criteria, such websites filter through what has already been published elsewhere by journalists or primary sources, effectively publicizing rather than publishing the news. They are watching the gates. For example, if you are a fan of Korean drama, you probably have a favorite site that keeps you updated with all the gossip on Korean idols. Let's revisit the gatekeeping theory. The term gatekeeping is credited to German-American social psychologist Kurt Lewin, who in 1947 theorized that gatekeepers were the decision makers who determined the types of food consumed in post-World War II households. Later, Levin also noted that this could be applied to news consumption. His theory was developed further by American journalist David M. White, who studied the role of editors in deciding which stories were published and which ones were not, in his 1950s paper, The Gatekeeper, a case study in the selection of news. Further development, or the gatekeeping theory, was popularized by Shoemaker, Voss, and Rees, who defines gatekeeping as the process of selecting, writing, editing, positioning, scheduling, repeating, and otherwise massaging the information to become news. In traditional or so-called legacy media, the gate is defined by news values, such as timeliness, significance, prominence, proximity, or even oddity to determine if an event, issue, or idea is newsworthy or not. This type of gatekeeping was needed for print, radio, and television, given the limitations of time and space. Traditional gatekeeping, however, has been broken down. The coming of the internet and the World Wide Web meant that news consumers became far less reliant on the gates of the mainstream news organizations because they could now go and get their information firsthand from the sources' websites. Moreover, such information providers now also often include news consumers themselves, such as bloggers. What is the gatekeeping theory? With the development of new communication technologies, gatekeeping has evolved as a process. In the digital age, consumers and producers of information often take over the role of gatekeepers in deciding what is worth publishing. The term gatewatching was coined by Axel Bruns of the Queensland University of Technology in Australia in 2005. He refers to gatekeeping as a concept in the digital era. Bruns argued that gatekeeping did not accurately describe the process in which news currently flows between participants and the public circulation. Influencers and individuals who share news do not keep gates of their own, but instead share news and media to their respective social followers. Some examples include the Philippine Foreign Business Briefing, which curates business news in this country. Then you have Sumpi, which curates news about Korean telenovelas and other K-pop information. And Storyful, which summarizes news culled from social media. The big question is social media the new gatekeeper? Adjunct Professor Tarleton Gillespie in 2014 noted that rather than providing an open and neutral space for a global conversation in which all can participate on equal terms, X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, and other social media applications may now be the new gatekeepers. Social media are reinforcing unequal access to public attention and creating virtual echo chambers of like-minded users through opaque algorithms and moderation policies that amplify some content while hiding others. Social media algorithms are personalized and determined by several factors. A social media algorithm is a compilation of rules and data that make decisions about what users want to see on the platform. The social media sites create unique algorithms for every person who uses the site, which means that no two people will have the exact same social media news feed. Thus, this may create a negative gatekeeping, since social media algorithms may be blocking us from truthful sources and loading us with disinformation. In summary, while legacy media still practices gatekeeping in choosing what to highlight, their ability to gatekeep has been largely undermined by the digital media environment and social media. In the ideal sense, the public sphere defines what is newsworthy and what the public needs to know. However, social media algorithms can result in echo chambers that may restrict the information available to the individual users. Meanwhile, interactions can be shaped by socioeconomic and technocultural practices led by influencers who may have a different agenda than that of truthful information and the public good.